Welcome to this freshly hatched, unmatched batch from scratch, the show where, just like our emotions, the beers are bottled in canned.
Every episode, we try some beer, talk about life. We really don't know shit about either, so don't set your expectations too high.
Our credentials, null. Our expertise, void, so don't take anything we say too serious.
Let's talk some shit.
Welcome back to the show where we're not going to fuck something up this episode. Bottled in Canned episode number 31. I'm Matt.
I'm Jason.
What's up, brother?
Nothing. It's still early. We might fuck something
No,
up.
we're going to fuck. I think if we went back to the game tape and we watched or listened to every single thing we produced, we have fucked up probably one beat of the show. Just at some point, whether it was like in the intro and one of our like transitions, like we've always messed up. I've been screwing stuff up lately the most.
Dude, you know what I like about that though, Matt? It shows that we're real people. Okay. You know, when you're watching the PGA golf, you're watching Rory McIlroy chunk one into the water. I think it was on 13. And you're like, dude, even the pros do it. It makes you feel like, oh, I'm just as good as a pro. I could chunk one in the water too. You know what I mean? When you're famous, like we are, and you're a big hit podcasters, and they're like, oh, these guys are just like us. It's not that polished.
When the sponsorship deals are just rolling in.
Yeah.
They're just rolling in.
Yeah. Well, I know. We're trying
Did you see the email from Ferrari this week?
Dude. And I turned it down because I was like, I already agreed with Range Rover.
Yeah, that's right. We told them. We said we have an exclusivity deal already with another manufacturer. Sorry.
Yeah. So and Mercedes already was like, hey, they already put the S580 in the driveway.
Yeah.
So
the S580, yeah.
That's good. But no, actually, we are working on sponsorships. You know, I was told that we should only be shouting out one AI for our time killer.
Boy.
Yeah.
Right,
so you know, now all I use is because of that I use Gemini. So
right, I got the alert today on my phone that our account had logged in on their iOS device. Like it was earlier today, and I thought, oh, well, Jason's preparing for the show, so I knew what you were doing right then and there.
Mm-hmm. I always prepare for the show
ahead of time.
Not while you're in the garage and I'm putting my mic together.
Nah, man. But anyway, dude, I think we are live today on Twitch. We just happen to be recording on release day. So yeah, this will be a live episode, but we'll have the video version on YouTube.
Do we have
and we'll always have our audio downloads.
Do we have everybody manning the phones?
We actually don't, but what I was thinking about doing is I looked for comments today, just someone ripping on us or like shitting all over us or telling us how bad it was. So I could like screenshot it and then like show it on screen and be like, hey, here's some comments.
But everything's wonderful.
And then I was thinking about like, even though all we've gotten to our inbox is like spam email, I was thinking of reading the spam emails like they were listener mail and treating them super serious.
Dude,
and being like, hey, this one's from Raul. Raul here says, I can get you more listeners, or whatever. Like it's just some bot spam. But I was trying to think of like bits with that because we have no like
interaction.
Nothing with it.
No, but that's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine. I'm sensitive, so I don't really want it. Yeah. But it is funny when you see like the celebrities. Was that on Jimmy Kimmel or Jimmy Fallon or one of the Jimmys?
Mean tweets.
When they read them, that's always funny.
No, so again, like some stuff like that, but yeah, whatever.
Going back to the beginning of the show, in my head was because I didn't have my earbud in, so I didn't hear our intro, but in my head I was singing the new one.
Oh, the new one. So that's all you can think about. You brought that up very quickly right now.
No, because it was all I was like,
Okay. So
I'm not gonna tease it, but it's like it's fire.
Okay, so Jason,
no question.
Jason's happy that we have completed the first, like I would say, draft of our alternate intro. Where I was supposed to be children, but right now my daughter has taken the lead role. Anyway, so I just need to like polish it up. I had to show Jason 2 different versions earlier tonight, and he kind of gave us a path forward. So now I'm gonna polish it, and then again, I don't know if we'll lead off an episode with it. What we'll probably do is we'll like do our normal intro and then immediately go into the alternate intro and then just lead into the show that first time, and then we'll discuss it. We'll just do it just because we asked them.
I'm taking full credit
together.
for it, by the way.
As you should. You have been, in a way, like there's a director and a producer, right? Like the director really like is the one who's behind the scenes, like, camera, like edit bay, like they're there making it, but the producer like makes it happen. Like you're the producer. You made it happen.
I said,
You
let's
know what
do
I
it.
mean? Yes.
Where is it? I'm
Right.
holding people accountable.
That's right. And you've set curt deadlines. You implemented like corporate type project management structure.
I even
And
created
you-
a portal.
and you got it done.
created a-
You got it done.
I created a portal for everybody to track their work and their progress. So that's always key to keeping morale up is create
fuck
portals
off.
and look over their shoulders. It's ideal. It's how you get shit done.
It's a GSDD, get shit done day, I guess. So no, that's awesome, man.
dude,
But
I haven't had a drink since Friday when I was playing golf. Or no, Saturday. I lied. I am ready to fucking crack one open, bro.
all right, man. Then that is a perfect time for today's beer. Today's beer.
It was like a nightmare, like you weren't ready.
Yeah, like
Today's
exactly.
beer.
Like, and I like
Matt,
there. It was
Somebody-
just like, I was just
Matt.
using
I was
like
about to say something.
ketchup,
Go ahead,
mustard.
what were you gonna say? 'Cause that was just-
No, nothing new first. I insist.
Maybe you're-
Like yeah, like how, jar pickles.
Oh,
Yeah, exactly. And I
It
just
is
felt like I was so
Bicycle
embarrassed. I felt
Day
like I
from
was
Great Notion.
is it bottled or is it canned?
My man, it is canned. It is our third beer from Great Notion.
Oh, dude, you got the
It is-
analytics out.
Analytics are up, dude. It's our third beer
I
from
fucking love
Great
the analytics.
Notion. It is our sixth sour on the show, and very specifically, it is our third, what would be technically styled as a fruited sour. So this is our third fruited sour, our sixth overall sour, but also our third beer from Great Notion.
I'm gonna take my phone off Do Not Disturb for a second,
Okay.
and I'm gonna ask, hey Chase, if you're listening, what sour do we have this weekend? I'll give him like 10 seconds to call me.
Okay.
And my
All right.
brother's not
Letting this
listening.
happen.
So, and we are back to Do Not Disturb. He's an avid listener. At least he told me he listened to one episode. Anyways, dude, Great Notion bicycle.
Yeah.
Dude, is
Great
that a
No-
frog?
It is a frog riding a bicycle.
It was like a nightmare, like you weren't ready.
Highly
Yeah, like,
experimental tart
exactly.
ale is
Like,
the
and I, like,
subtitle.
there,
And
it was
it
just
is
like I
from
was just
Great
using,
Notion's
like,
out of Portland,
ketchup,
Oregon, but it is a tart
mustard,
ale with peach, apricot, pineapple, tangerine.
like yeah, like how,
natural
jar
flavors.
pickles.
What's on a
Yeah, exactly. And I just felt like I
that
was
would be
so
a beanie,
embarrassed.
like a
I felt
lumberjack's
like I was
beanie. Oh, on the frog's head? That's like a beer helmet. At games where you put the beers
Oh,
in
did you
with
ride
the
the
straw.
tricycles?
Yeah. Come on, man.
Dude, you know it's
Like, you're white trash enough to feel like
Yeah.
you've seen one of your family members wear one of those hats and drink beer out of them at a
Yeah,
sporting
yeah.
event. Okay, all right.
Did you know that I think the frogs that have like the most color are the ones that are most poisonous,
I think so. I think that's true.
and they make you. I think-
What the fuck?
Dude, now this makes sense on why they put a
What the
frog.
fuck? Okay.
Have you ever seen that before? Did you know what we're getting
I
into?
did not know. We've had a green beer on the show before, like a Slimer one, I thought, or something. But this is a ectoplasm, ectocooler green beer. Oh my god! I was sorry. I mean, sorry for screaming, but I mean, I was not ready for that. Oh man, it does smell quite tart. It does. Oh, he's having a little sip out of the can. I'm gonna do the same, just a little sip.
That's good. That's a good for a sour. That's good. It's not super soury.
Okay, no, it's
Oh,
It's pretty good. I'm going to stir it up a little bit.
Yeah,
It's a
maybe
little sedimenty. I'm going to kind of stir it and then dump it a little bit more. Yours is a little darker than mine.
So I'm looking at. Did you didn't put these upside down first?
I should have. This is one. I didn't know this was technically like a.
Listeners, when you have like some of these,
Go ahead. No,
it's
all you.
it's not just sours. There's some other ones that
Yeah.
like when there's other things than just your typical beer ingredients. You don't want the sediment. You don't want it to fall to the bottom,
Yeah, it's all good.
right? You want to flip it over and let it you know.
Yeah,
you don't wanna stir it
honestly,
up.
you're right. I mean, I definitely should have stored these like upside down. So, oh man, I don't want to miss a drop though because it is.
Dude, I love the can. It's got a purple mountain. It's got a sun. It looks like it's sun and night at the same time, and the clouds are splitting the difference. That must be right on the one of the timelines, the time change zones. You know, where it's like 14 or 18
Is it a
hour
nightmare,
difference
like you
between
weren't
like
ready?
the.
Yeah, like
Yeah, that's
exactly.
crazy.
Like and I
So-
like there. It was just
Matt,
like I
did
was
you
just
know
using
that the
like
sun-
ketchup.
This is interesting. I don't think it's like it's got like a core or a crust. It's not like a planet-ish thing. It's just a ball of gas, I believe. Probably because it's so hot that it melted itself, and it's all it could be is gas. Which makes me wonder, why has it not just dispersed over time?
Because the gas still has mass, and there's still enough gravity to that mass to hold it together. Like there is a gravity to the sun. It still generates gravity. It would still pull things in. So that's what also holds it within itself, from what I understand. So, all right, what are you thinking? Now that we're talking about sun science, I mean, I want to maybe start scoring this beer, dude. But all right,
Well, it's good.
the first sip was great. I was like really excited. Then the second sip, it's getting a little bit more sour, and like, oh, this is a beer I'm gonna really need to pace myself. Oh, yeah,
It's
show it
fucking.
up there. I mean,
It's. I'll put it in my camera. I was like trying to go to the
fucking-
screen.
yeah, I don't know
Look at
what
this
to
shit.
do,
It's green.
green. But anyway, I think I already kind of have a score in mind.
So-
I've been like leaning back too much today.
So it's
Checking in the beer. Don't yell at me.
yeah. So it looks like the color of mulch. Like somebody put like their grass clippings.
Okay, that's like or like a kale smoothie
Fucking
or
kale's
something.
gross, dude.
Oh, really?
But I do like those. What are those? Those naked drinks? The naked whatever. The green
Right, like
machine.
the green machine, but those have so
It's-
much sugar in them, bro. Lots.
Yeah,
of
but it's
sugar.
good. But you get some.
At least you have an excuse to have some some things that are good for you, right? So, I can't believe this shit is how green this is. What are you thinking, man? You're looking real creepy right now.
I'm just looking at the ads. I love the ads that show up on your computer.
we're,
like
you know.
like looks like you were looking at.
I'm not looking
Older men.
at anything. I'm not looking at older men.
I mean, the ad was like older ripped men.
Well, I mean, they probably know I'm getting close to 40. Little did they know I'm doing all right. All right, I'm
You know,
looking
you know what's
okay.
funny? It's like we were talking about this work the other day because of what we do for a living at the office. Our targeted ads have no clue what we are. Like the targeted ads I get are like
Hilariously off. Yeah.
like not even remotely close.
Right.
Like you name it, and I've gotten ads for it, and it thinks
Bro,
I'm it
the
because
who-
we search so much random.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, no, like I've gotten ads in many different languages, and I'm like, dude, you name it. I'm
Bro.
gonna go down the road of the crazy shit I've gotten.
We get all of our we get like half our Hulu ads are in Spanish.
Oh yes,
They have me tagged as a Spanish-speaking household. No habla at this house, so it's just funny that that's how weird that is to me. So, anyway, I digress. Are you thinking about scoring this thing? How are you? Do you need I need a second with this beer. Like my score still isn't really dialed
Dude,
in.
okay, so
there's
so
so
it's-
much going on.
it's not like super overpoweringly sour, right? It's relatively light. It hits the goddamn spot. Sorry, Mom, didn't mean to say goddamn. Gosh darn. But it hits the spot. I don't know how to rate it because like I want to rate it good for a sour, but yet it's maybe not soury enough for a sour. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's like a I would say if you want to try a sour, this is a good sour to get started with.
Yeah, man, that's a good way to say it.
So does that make it higher or lower? It depends on what. I can drink multiples of these. There's no question. So, dude, I'm gonna go with a 4.12.
4.12.
Yeah.
All right, that is one of your lowest scores in a while. Well, you've had one that's lower, but that's okay. And the last smoothie sour you had was from Great Notion, and you gave it a 4.61. So, interestingly enough, like you do not like this one as much as you liked that last one.
No, the problem is I like it a lot, but I'm trying to put it in the category of like sours. It's if you're a sour person, it might not be soury enough.
If you were a sour puss,
yeah, if you're a fucking sour puss, it's not sour pussy enough.
okay.
But it's
I'm not
good.
sure you heard that the same way that it came out. Anyway, that's fine.
What's that?
Nothing. I'd recommend moving forward personally. So anyway, but no, I score it a 4.35, and that was like my kind of gut.
So this is the
check
first time in a while
score.
you won.
Well, that's it. I did win. That is true. For those of you keeping score. Also, what's weird is this is the exact score I gave to the last Great Notion sour that we had as well. So that's interesting that whatever
you
it
looked
is
at
about
the analytics. I mean, you knew.
the fermentation. Well, no, just now I noticed, but the like whatever fermentation techniques or whatever, however they like to like age their beers or whatever it is. Like again, it probably gravitates me towards a similar
Where's
type of
Great
score.
No-
It's interesting.
Where's Great Notion?
Portland, Oregon.
Oregon.
Portland.
They don't have sales tax, do they?
Portlandia. I don't know. I don't think so.
Is any of our listeners can hook me up with some Nike merch? Get me in?
No.
Because their campus is like, I would love to just spend a couple days at the Nike campus. Maybe one of our other sponsors.
Yeah, you fucking would, dude. You're a dork, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, man. All right, so we scored the beer. It's tasting good. I feel like maybe we should kill some time and let our veins get filled with booze.
Okay.
It's a time killer and vein filler.
All right, Jason, what do you have in store for us today for the
Well,
time
Matt,
killer vein filler?
I had a really good fact or false bitch, but I know how you hate quizzes,
Okay.
and I know how much I like to make you fail at quizzes.
Okay.
And then I was going to be like, yo, just do that. Who would you have dinner with if you pick 5 and make you rank them?
Okay.
I didn't. But while I was coming up with some stuff, long story short was my brother and I were talking about this weekend.
Okay.
So remember that time on the show where we said, hey, what's your most interesting fact? And we shared some stuff. And I shared like how I was sitting around with my brother and we're talking about interesting facts after we played golf. And his friend came up with some dumb insurance thing that he thought was really interesting. And it, like, we all fell asleep. We were playing golf with him and he's like, he's going to be ready with some interesting facts. So before I went to go play golf, I came up with some interesting facts. For example, one of the interesting facts was if you could theoretically fold a piece of paper 42 times in half, that piece of paper would reach the moon. Doesn't make any sense, but that's what they say, right? And Chase and I tried to see if we can get to the moon. We folded it 6 times. We couldn't even get the paper to fold the 7th time in half. It was already too big, like too fat to fold
7 times.
We only got 6. We couldn't get to the 7th.
Oh, 6. Wow.
Right, so we had a lot more to go to see if it reached the moon. And then one of the things that came up, and I thought this was kind of interesting because it's always in line with the going back in time machine that we have.
Great tie-in.
Yeah. So one of the things was like interesting fact. Did you know that Stephen Hawking once had a party for time travelers that no one showed up to because he sent the invitations to his party after the party? So we were thinking about, like, of course no one would show up.
Right.
Because
logically, no one got the, yeah. Okay.
And then it just made me think of a bunch of other things, like just randomly. I'm not going to ask you to answer this, but like if people were to show up, then would you or would you not have to send the invitations out? Because if they showed up, then they already knew about it. And then if you send them out afterwards, would you have to send them out? Like what would happen if you didn't send them out? Anyways, that's just something to ponder for a second. It really kind of stumped me for a minute. Like what would happen if you decided after the party that you didn't send them out? Because that would mean that if you didn't, then no one would have showed up. So you're kind of forced to send them out, or you end up on a different timeline, or there's no such thing as free will because you have to do it because it happened. So it's really random. That's just something to consider for a second. But what it made me think about, because we're in the NBA playoff season right now, was if you were to go back in time, Matt, I want you, I'm going to share some sporting events, and I want you to blind rank these sporting events. And because of the conversation we had that you were trying to make these smash burgers with this sauce, which was good.
Okay. Thank you.
I would like you to tell me, as you rank them, which arena food would you like to have during this game?
Oh God. Okay. All right. And this is also okay. All right. We'll see if I can add the arena food element and make it work. So I'll pitch out on a couple of them, I'm sure. But all right. Fair enough. Sporting events. But the blind rank sporting events. How many total are there? How many do I have to like rank from?
Well, I have 9 for some reason. This is bizarre.
Okay.
You can use the same food twice. I just want to see.
No, let's do let's make me do a top 5 because I mean there's gonna be way too many options.
Top 5 foods.
No, like dude, I'll give me the 9, I guess, and I'll try to blind rank the top 5. How about that?
Okay.
So like I know there's 9 in the bank, so I'll try to like skip some. So
okay, so let's go with. I'll save that one. Okay, all right. Number 1. This is not really a game. It's maybe the whole thing. Is the USA Dream Team.
Okay.
When they were over
the hockey team.
No.
Oh,
the basketball team. The 92 Barcelona Olympic team.
That's fine.
Going to witness that.
Sure. So I was thinking of like the Miracle on Ice for some reason.
Yeah, I actually deleted that one from me. Okay, so that's 1.
Okay.
Number 2, in honor of Indiana making it to the finals this year, and they're on tonight. Reggie Miller's 8 points in 9 seconds. It was a little bit of a push off there, I believe, in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals against the Knicks. And Indiana just recently beat the Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals to go to the finals this year. So that was a very famous moment where Reggie just he took the inbound and step back three. Kobe's 81-point game. You can see this is themed for NBA. Okay, and then there's a couple others that aren't NBA just because I liked them. We got the Chicago Bears versus the Cardinals in 2006. That they are who we thought they are. Yes,
dude, I watched every second.
Oh my God, it was that amazing. The Kobe Bryant one, I remember I recorded it because I was playing softball that night, and I was literally watching the 80-point one like on record, but I was standing on my coffee table watching the game for some reason at midnight because I was like, oh my God, drinking beer. And I couldn't sit down during that game. Anyways, but the Cardinals game was the same thing after softball one night. I went back and I was like, nobody tell me to score. And I watched it. I was like in disbelief. All right. Tiger Woods, 97 Masters victory. I thought that was amazing.
I was there for that one. So I watched that with my
right.
dad
But to be in Augusta when that, because I've been to Augusta once and it was awesome. Jordan's last shot, the Malice in the Palace. We have the Kansas City Chiefs win in Super Bowl. What's the L? Is that 49?
It's 4, shouldn't it be?
Yeah, 49. So their first Super Bowl in 2020. They're
okay. All right.
And then the other one was in honor of you, the 24-0 comeback versus the Texans in the 2020 AFC divisional round.
It's so funny. I can't remember all these. All right. Here's how I would. Here's how I do.
I kind of want to remove the Kansas City ones because I know those are going to be
those
the top.
are like cheating. I'm not gonna. I'll skip both.
Okay, just rank those two. Which one would you rather have gone back and seen, and what would you eat?
All right, so the Chiefs Texans comeback win. I would have liked to watch that game because
41 unanswered points.
Right.
That was
and that was the moment where we started to like turn the franchise around, and it felt like it wasn't going to be the same old Chiefs anymore. We were going to do something different, and I would have eaten at Joe's, Kansas City State Line barbecue. You got to go there every time you're in town. It's iconic. It's not even the best barbecue anymore, but it's just like it's the spot to go.
So you would take that over that? It looks like the same year the NFL, the championship. They won the Super Bowl that year, right?
Yeah. What was the championship against?
They
beat the Niners that year.
Yes.
No, I mean again. So it's like, okay, yeah, I had a rank. That's right. Damn, I would rather be at the Super Bowl for sure. Okay, sorry. I was just thinking what I would have eaten if I had gone to the Houston one. Sorry,
you jumped ahead.
Hey, you're right. No, I would definitely gone to the Super Bowl. It was in Miami, I want to say. I would have had a Cubano down there. I would have had a Cubano down in Miami, dude.
So
traditional Cubano.
Okay, what's a Cubano?
It's like a sub sandwich, like pressed down like a panini, and inside it's like Swiss cheese, sliced ham, mojito pork, which is like a marinated citrus pork.
Sounds good. Making me hungry.
Mayo, pickles, and mustard.
So what's a panini versus this? Like if it's squished, isn't it panini and panini?
Yeah, I think that's like panini style. It just means like a panini press, like a grill that like
right. So they make it in a sub sandwich.
Yeah,
why do they even call it a submarine sandwich? Because it looks like is it supposed to look like a boat?
Because it looks like a sub. I think it is like that was the original like.
But it doesn't have like
term.
not
periscope.
Periscope, yeah.
You fucking prick.
Yeah, it just looks like a fucking thing. Okay.
All right, so
now let's go with the other one.
5. So
now you got 7 more. Malice in the Palace, Jordan's last shot, Woods 97 Masters victory. I would actually probably flip that out. I was really debating because of that one was just so dominant. But I believe that when he came back and won that last Sunday at was it the 2019 Masters? I probably would have rather seen that one than this one, and I would have maybe even rather seen Rory's victory this year because of a lot of different reasons. But okay, so 97 Masters.
Okay, so that's number 5 on my list. Then of the top 5, we'll put Tiger that year, number 5 on my list.
They are who we thought they were. Game.
Well, hold on. I'm just giving you. We'll give you the 5th right now. So that's the number in this 5 spot.
Oh, what would you have to eat egg salad sandwich because they have them there at Augusta.
What
They're famous.
They're famous. I would drive off the golf course 10 minutes into off the freeway of Augusta, and go to the Limelight Cafe, and I would get double fried hot yaki wing, half hot yaki, half lemon pepper hot wings, double fried with fried pickles and a tall IPA. That was like the same thing I used to get when I would go to Augusta, Georgia, to go to that same spot.
This is why my mom thinks you're fat.
I get it.
She's
It's
shocked
not-
to find
it's-
out you're thin and tall.
It's literally not just you. My entire life, I've been playing games with people, so much voice comms, and eventually we meet in person. And almost every time, or like my other show was audio only, we turned on cameras. So many people wrote in, "Holy shit! I thought Lambo was gonna be a big guy. I thought Matt was gonna be huge." You know, like it's always like, sorry. And again, I mean, I'm still not like in.
No, but I don't even know
tip-top shape.
what was it. What was that? What kind of half? What wings? Half what?
Half hot yaki.
What
which
is that?
They mix the buffalo hot with teriyaki.
Oh, that sounds.
And they toss that. That's like half of the wings.
Yeah.
And the other one is lemon pepper hot, where they make them like lemon pepper wet, but then they toss them in the hot buffalo sauce.
I like the dry lemon pepper rubs. My
Right,
buddy
so
makes
they-
some really good ones in the what do they call it, the air fryer?
Yeah. No, I mean,
Fucking
I
legit,
hey,
dude.
It depends on where we go. Like if I go to Clay's Sports Cafe down at Atlanta, I'll be getting the dry lemon pepper there.
So
anyway, God,
that's number 5.
love it. So Tiger Woods 5, getting the Limelight Cafe wings and some fried pickles.
Okay.
Perfect.
Uh,
Number 4, I'm gonna go with you said the Kobe's 80-point game.
81-point game.
Where was that, in LA? Where did that happen?
It was against the Toronto Raptors. I believe that was in LA.
Okay, so if it was in LA, I just want to get like kind of like
Oh, can I make a correction?
sure.
It was Kobe's last game where he scored 60 something where I was standing on my table. It wasn't the 81-point
Okay.
game. That was
We appreciate you auditing
yes.
the
So if everybody went back to the record books and thought, no, dude, you were standing on your table at the other. Yes. That actually, I would have replaced that one with the 60, his last game. Anyways, go on.
Okay, no, okay. So I think that would be number 4, and in Los Angeles, I want to find some kind of taco or burrito in the arena. Like I want to go to that arena. There's always going to be good tacos if you're in LA. Like doesn't matter. You can't go wrong usually. Like a bad place in tacos in LA is a good spot anywhere else. All right. So I think I would find tacos in the arena.
So that's number 3.
Yep. That was number 4, I think. So now we're on to number 3. Number 3, I would like to do the Dream Team. And that was over like internationally, like right in Spain and everything.
Oh yeah, what would you get in Spain?
Man, I would do like there's like this weird, and this sounds weird. I'd have to look up more detail, but there's this one town in Spain that does like this annual onion festival where they like caramelize onions and like cook a bunch of food. It's like this weird, and they like decorate everything with it. It sounds strange,
It is strange.
but I would like just love to like really connect with like locals in a strange tradition. Like try really, simple, hearty cuisine. I feel like even my buddy who lived in like Spain and Portugal for a while, he would always talk about like just how much better the fruit is over there. Like it just tastes so much better,
Dude,
and like more real.
Everybody I
and,
talk to, every time they travel,
that's
they
what-
like eat
yeah.
whatever they want. They don't put. It's like the bread is better. I remember.
what I'm saying.
I remember the first time I went to Germany. The first meal we had out to eat, like we got in one night, next morning, and then we got up and we went to eat. And I wanted like a real. What I was looking for, like, give me a local sort of. Bro, we went and had Chinese food. That was my first
Bro, we
German
went and had
European meal.
Chinese food.
Yeah, we had Chinese food in Germany. Weird. It was apparently it was some kind of German holiday. I didn't know everything was shut
Got
down.
it,
Okay.
got it. But was it good though? At least.
Yeah, dude, it's all right. I didn't hate it. They only gave me 6 ice cubes for the whole meal because I had 2 glasses of Coca-Cola and I was like, "You guys have any ice?" And they're like, "We have 6 pieces and we didn't think we were gonna go through this many." I'm like, it makes more. That machine that made the 6 probably makes a whole lot more if you just turned it on. But I guess they don't use ice cubes over there. Anyways, I'm wondering about Sweden. They probably don't use ice cubes either.
Yeah,
Right.
man, we're the weirdos who have to like chill our drinks down to Arctic levels.
So 4 is Kobe Bryant. Is that what you said? Or is
Yeah,
that,
the Kobe. The Kobe, that one. Then
No. And then 3 was Dream Team.
Dream Team.
Now we have Reggie Miller's 8 points in 9 seconds, which probably doesn't matter to you.
Nope.
And then we have the Bears Cardinals. They are who we thought
Okay.
they were. If you want to crown them, crown them.
And there was one other one. before
Malice
that.
in the Palace. I was going to put Tyson's ear biting incident and just do all these crazy because those are also iconic. Like,
Yeah. Okay. So number 2, I will do the Cardinals Bears game. That crazy Monday night. Devin Hester. What a while. They are who we thought they were. We let them off the hook.
yeah,
Rip.
you want to crown them? Crown them.
Rip that Coach Allen.
No, at the time. Oh, the Bears coach at the time.
Yeah. No. It was the Cardinals coach was who I'm saying rip to. He passed away. But
Oh yeah.
you want to crown them? Crown their ass. Let them off the hook.
Oh my God. Denny Green.
Denny Green. Yeah. Rip Denny Green. Thank you. So yeah, that's number 2. And then number 1, dude, I thought you had one more that I really was
Last
excited
Shot?
about. Yeah, probably Jordan's The Last Shot. Like, that's a huge.
Iconic.
You've seen that shot in like every sports highlight. It's just yeah, the clutch level of it. Yeah, and again, I'm not even the biggest NBA fan, but like of those moments, seeing Jordan's like a legend, you know. So that would have been cool to be a part of that.
So what would you eat?
Oh, it's in Chi-Town. I think it was away. He's in a white jersey in that game.
It was against Utah. Or at Utah.
Oh, shit, dude. I'd go give me motherfucking breakfast. There's like a bunch of I want like a Mormon breakfast, baby. Like cinnamon rolls that are
And 6 wives.
Give
me
six
some
wives.
cinnamon rolls and 6 wives.
I want a 4-pound cinnamon roll. I want donuts covered in frosting and homemade sweets and deliciousness. I want pancakes and bacon and eggs and delicious Mormon breakfast.
Dude, so I went to the Utah Hockey Club game one day.
Dude, nice.
And it's at the Delta Center, which is where this game happened. And first of all, we I can't tell you what could be a more white event than being at a hockey game in Utah. It was uncomfortably white, to be honest.
I think
it was uncomfortably
have you
white.
seen
I was
that
like,
SNL skit with like that rapper. I'm literally forgetting his name, but he's like pretending to be a hockey announcer, and he's like, "Yeah, I was supposed to cover the basketball game, but the other guy called in, so I'm at this hockey game, and wow, it is white, and like they are crazy. They are hitting each other. It's some crazy shit. Like he was just like, I'll show it to you later, but it's just him like reacting to hockey, But anyway, yeah, like it's a super white sport.
But what the funniest thing about being in the Delta Center that night is I went to go connect to the Wi-Fi, and I have the picture. The name of the Wi-Fi in the Delta Center is Jordan Pushed Off.
You're kidding me.
This is about 27 years later, and it says Jordan Pushed Off. I lost it when I saw it. I go, you gotta be kidding. Dude, they're still salty all these years later.
Rent free, bro.
Oh my God, dude. I sent it to every single one of my friends back home. I was like, yo, check it out. They still hate us. I love it.
Jordan Pushed Off.
And
nothing. That's incredible.
Nothing made me happier than the first year they did the NBA where they had like the captains for the NBA All-Star game, and they were all picking teams. Everybody was picking. They had one captain kept picking, and all the Utah players went last. I was like, everyone hates the Jazz. Oh, it's my favorite thing of all time.
Wow. Okay, man. I just learned a lot. But that would have been a dope ass moment to be there. So I feel really good about my answers. And
let me ask you this last question.
All right, hit me.
Did this meet your standards for time killer vein fillers?
It was fantastic. I had a blast. So I got to talk about food too. So
right,
you're placating to my emotions.
Yeah. Well, my only thought was I still wanted to do the fact or false bitch so that you lose.
All right, I'll give you one.
Oh no,
fact or false.
We're on to the next.
Shut up. Fact or false, Jason? You're supposed to shut up.
False.
False, bitch. That's right. All right. Hey, man. Well, I do think then it is time for. It's time for that main discussion where, just like today's beer, our emotions are bottled and canned. The main discussion where we're going to release some emotions, my friend.
Matt.
What's up, buddy?
Are these emotions bottled or are they canned?
I think, as always, they're a little bit of both.
Both of them.
Both of them. All right, so both of them.
Right.
So, all right, so the name of our beer obviously was Bicycle Day. We always tie in the name of the beer to the main discussion. So, to center our main discussion today, the bicycle, to me, is a symbol of childhood. It represented, at least for me, like some of my most momentous Christmases were like there was a bicycle under the tree, or the days.
How did a
where-
bicycle fit under the tree? Laying down?
It's more of a metaphysical. It's not literally under the tree, but just like when you walk out there, it's
wondered how
there
big
on
your tree
Christmas.
was.
Yeah, you get. I mean, yeah, anyway, or like there was a time that you get like that new bike as you grow up and you outgrow the old bike and you get the new one and you're the cool kid in town with the new shiny bike, or it represented like a sense of freedom where you could separate from home. It was kind of your first car, your first like escape away from mom and dad, and gave you like some space, some distance. So it kind of like symbolizes again growth, and like whether it was the rides, the ramps, the adventures, or the missteps, like the bikes, dude.
So your
Bikes.
freedom, getting away from mom and dad,
Hell
who'd you
yeah.
want to get away from more?
Well,
I'm kidding.
That's
You love them
funny.
both.
I was
They're
about
all-
to answer. That's funny, but I would can we start there for a second? So, talking about adventures, right? You're young, you're dumb. I remember one.
What?
Oh, full of. Oh, gross! You're nasty. No, but one night I was staying at the neighbor friend's Adam's house, and like Adam wasn't a bad kid, but he like I guess was just probably a little bit more reckless than my friends because he was like a little bit unsure that like technically what like I don't know, he just didn't understand right from wrong. Like not that he was dumb, he just was like he just didn't care as much about
Like, was he one of
maybe-
these like severe ADD people that just couldn't follow direction no matter how hard they tried, or is he just
I
like
don't
too
know.
like, I didn't think that would be a bad idea, so
right,
we did
like,
it.
I
You're
don't
like,
know.
dude,
right,
what?
I
You
think it's
didn't
more
know?
that, and then like no excuse for me to like not have said no to this either. But we were like super young. We'd always stay at his house on the weekend.
That's not sour.
No, that's an IPA. It's a cold IPA. We would always watch like Monster Vision. Remember TNT Monster Vision at all?
Is that like USA Up All Night?
Okay, sure. But it was like on TNT, and there'd be a host, and there'd be like scary movies or horror
Oh.
movies, and his name was Billy Bob, and he would like introduce the movie and talk in between. Anyway, I grew up like watching like that, and we would like do that or Godzilla movies and marathons. And one night we were up late, like 2 or 3 a.m. maybe, like late. And he was like, "Hey, I've got like $20 from Boy Scouts or whatever. We should go up to the gas station and get cereal and milk because we don't have any from when we wake up tomorrow." And I'm like, "Hell yeah. Like we got to go."
He took it from the Boy Scouts, the money?
No, he like earned it from like his Boy Scout stuff. Like he was his money. Like he was like, "Hey, this is my money, but we need cereal and milk for tomorrow."
Seems like a fun adventure.
And so legit, like we get on our bikes and we go down like an outer road, like a parallel road to the freeway. We cross under a freeway bridge and we go to like the local Quick Trip, little gas station there.
What they have? What were they called? Like Quickie Marts?
No, Quick Trip. Yeah, like
Oh, it's called a Quick Trip.
yeah, that is our like if they just opened one here in Vegas, oddly enough, but it is like the best brand of gas. Like how Buc-ee's is kind of like famous for being like
super clean. Yeah.
It's that, but like way smaller scale. Like it's not like as big as Buc-ee's, but it's the same concept where they make food there, but all the food's high quality and like they're cleaning everything. They offer a ton of selection.
Yeah, dude, I can't
You
go
can
into
make
like
your own hot dogs. You can make your own shakes.
no, man,
smoothies.
dude,
It's awesome,
that's
dude.
that sounds great because I can't go into like a traditional 7-Eleven because it stinks. The
Garbage.
smells
Oh,
is
dude.
like, fuck. I don't want that hamburger that you rolled up to look like a hot dog. What is
Right,
that thing?
Right. So I would say if you're never going to be on this side of town it's on, but as they open more, like you can check them out. But a Quick Trip is where we'd go. But imagine it's like 2 or 3 a.m. and the guy behind the counter hasn't seen anyone for probably an hour, like wherever this gas station is, and in roll two like 10-year-old boys in like boxer shorts and t-shirts. And we
Did you
buy
put pants on? I mean, I know you don't like to typically wear pants based on what you've said in the past.
right. No, I mean like we just like I don't know. We just in our boxers and
Like, oh, let's go. Like,
100%.
Somebody was like, "Hey, put your shorts
These
on."
are shorts. Like we just like it was just like not even a question. Like middle of summer too in Missouri, and so we got there. We went inside. We picked out a box of cereal. We got a quarter like gallon of milk. We bought a little cap gun. It came with like a little cap gun and stuff, and it was like, all right. And as soon as I guess we left that gas station, that guy called the cops. Like the cashier.
Right
was
move,
like,
by the way.
Hey, there were just 2 10-year-old kids in here. They seemed fine, but it's kind of late and they were just out by themselves. And they headed that way. They kind of like figured out like what direction we left and like where we went. And so I guess at the same time, the cop was called. We like again making our way home, probably like a 15, 20 minute like ride home. Do you know what I mean? Like that sounds about right in my head. Maybe it was less or more, but a 15 or 20 minute ride home on the bike. And we got probably halfway. And it was the first car that we saw that was like coming towards us. This car was just like flying up.
Did you have an instinct that like, here comes a car, it's probably the police?
Not at all. I remember just being like, let's just stay out of their way. And so we were on the right side of the road and they were coming up to the left and they started to slow down. And there was a moment was like, is this guy trying to kidnap us? Like
Start to freak
stranger
out.
danger or something. But it was like a brief moment. And the moment like the headlights like pass your periphery, oh, this guy's slowing down. And you see it's Adam's dad's truck and you see Adam's dad's head pop out and he goes, get your fucking asses back to the fucking house. And we were just like, oh shit. And I guess at some point they woke up to come check on us. We were gone and they freaked out, also called the cops. Like, our kids are missing. It's middle of the night.
And the cops were like,
The
oh,
cops were like,
call.
we just got a call. They were at a Quick Trip. Like, it was all like coordinated pretty quick. But dude,
That's awesome. Dude, do you remember like, I remember being younger. I've had like same stuff. Like I remember getting my first bike, a Huffy with the training wheels. And at the end of the block that we had on Summer Drive, there was like a pit. We used to call it the pit. So I don't know, dug it up. We ride our bikes in there and do all this stuff. But there's nothing more exciting than like going to a sleepover as a kid. Parents go to sleep. I mean, as kids, you'd be like, I can't wait till I'm an adult. I can do whatever I want, whenever I want. But it's fucking not as fun because you have responsibilities. You're a grown up. You got things to do. You're like, we were just talking about like, dude, we got to get up tomorrow at 4:30 a.m. because I got to walk the dog before I go to training. Like, what? But you're a kid. You go to your buddy's house. Parents are asleep. You know, you're downstairs playing pool or playing video games, trying to keep it down, trying to get out. And then you sneak out and you play ditch, or you walk down the block and you go see the girls down the street. You know, like, oh, we got to throw some rocks at their window, that kind of crazy shit. And they're waking them up. Hey, come outside. You know, and you're hanging out at the park. It's 1 a.m. and no one knows where you're at. You know, riding your bikes all over.
right, like
dude,
harmless, but still like
Right.
illegal. It's still wrong.
right,
in some
dude.
way.
But like, if your parents were ever to wake up and catch you, they're all gonna be like, "Get your fucking asses in the," dude. Like those days. If obviously the show has way too much swearing for kids, but like those days are days like you gotta like just cherish. You know what I mean? Like all the stupid shit we used to do. You're talking about bikes. I'm like, oh my God, I remember getting pegs and I always wanted a Haro. I didn't have.
Remember your first pegs and your boy got to like
Yeah.
peg your homie around?
Yeah, you're like, let's do it. Going down the like where I lived,
Big
there was like
hills.
this trail where they had like motorcycles would jump and race.
Yeah.
They it was South Park and not like South Park in
No, I feel you.
Colorado,
I
but
feel
like South Park in Griffith, Indiana.
Region rat.
Yep, the region NWI. What up? 219. Anyways, so like you going out there, you're riding your bikes through like the little mud pits and coming back all like we used to have these things where we had these like go to buddy's house and you see like we'd build the like ramps on like all the hills and do some of the dumbest things. But dude, those were the days. That's like, but I grew up in one of those areas where my neighbor had a basketball hoop and I didn't, but we didn't have fences. So we just go play in the neighbor's yard. They didn't have kids. They didn't care. We used to hoop at their yard all the time because it was like butted up, backed up to our yard. I mean, but like always having people over at night and playing what we call ditch, you know, that was a blast. Like, oh, parents are always sneaking out. You're supposed to come back when the lights come on. Dude, those were the days. Like, I'm assuming those are fireworks.
The dogs are playing and the little one just got neutered. So I'm just like trying to see if they're
How
aggressive.
scared they are over the
no,
fireworks. But no, dude, having those bikes, those incidences. I used to always remember just staying up late at friends' houses and like 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m. And then you get so tired that you're getting like everything's hilarious. And then you get
Like,
this,
I call that loopy tired, where
Yes.
you're just like, yeah.
and then you get on your bike, you're like, let's go outside. Let's jump in the pool. Let's go from the,
Bro.
it's the middle of winter. Let's go
Okay.
from the hot tub to the pool.
Did you ever like my dad built us a ramp, and so like we had like a sick like street ramp, and we could like put it different places, and we did all sorts of cool different things, and it was like great. But was even crazier that I like think back about like such a cool childhood memory is the neighborhood I was in at the time was kind of like there was a lot of construction. and they were building houses all over. And then at some point they were building the middle school. So for kind of a whole summer, where the track became, or the track in a football field became, was just like this huge, like flat, like dirt lot. And we built BMX courses on that lot. Like we
kind of like
spent
the pit
whole
was.
summer.
Somebody else did it, but
we
yeah.
just dug like ramps and built a course, and then like sprayed with white spray paint that we like went and bought at the hardware store, and made like a BMX track that we like raced on for days. Like how idealistic is that? Like how
Dude,
utopian does that sound, dude?
So
That's fucking awesome.
Dude, and we used to like being bored and go knocking on a neighbor's kid's house, like, hey, can you come on? We used to do like backyard wrestling, but in the basement, somebody put down like a mattress in the basement,
right.
and we'd use the couches as the turnbuckles and the ropes and DDT. You know, like it was always
Totally.
like we made a homemade. Like, dude, I know kids get into some stuff now, but like, I was thinking about this the other day. I was sitting there thinking like, I'm bored. I'm a daydream about something. I had nothing to think about. I'm like, I don't really have an imagination anymore. But when you're a kid, because everything I question or wonder, I look up, and there's content on anything that you want to know. So like, can we even create our own imagination anymore? Like kids, like limiting screen time. Yeah, I've learned that like a lot of our screen time now is actually, it's not even about like, we can't even be bored. This book I was listening to says, hey, embrace the boredom, because not only are we conditioned to not be bored and constantly go to our phones and look at videos and all those things, but it actually becomes an addiction, because like the little dopamine hits you get, like you're addicted to looking at when we were growing up. Like this comedian said, mindfulness. He's like, when we were kids, you just sat on a bus. You sat on a bus. He was like, when you take a shit, you took a shit and you read the catalog. If you had like reading the back of a bottle, or like there's, you know, like you had all these things to do. Like you had to use your imagination. I'm sitting there thinking, I don't have an imagination. Like you were bored, you would just take things apart. Like, oh, this computer, I wonder what happens if I take my RC car apart and unscrew it and put this stuff together. Oh, I had my chain fell off. Well, I can't Google it. I got to figure it out on my own. Like how many times your chain or your chain fall off, or you get like a 10-speed or something, you get your shoelaces caught in, you're like, and you fall, you rack your nuts on the bar, and you're like, oh, son of a bitch. And then you got to fix it. You're on the side of the road, across the other side of the tracks. You're not supposed to be there. You're like, I got to get this fixed, or at least I got to walk this thing back before I knock on somebody's door to call and have my mom pick me up, because I can't be on that side of the goddamn tracks. You know, like all these things. Like nowadays, it's like I don't even have an imagination. It's hard for me. Like even in training, my coach is like, you got shadow box. I'm like, I don't have experiences to build like, and I can't imagine anymore to see what it would be like. I'm like, all I can build off of is the sparring matches I've had to try. What does Brian do when I box him? What does this dude do when I box? You know what I mean? Like I can't imagine. It's crazy, because like back when we were growing up, we were so bored that we just created mischief.
Well, yeah, I mean, like this, I was talking about this the other day with my kids. Like we went to California and they just like had their iPads the whole time, or we go places and they have the iPads there at the dinner table, and they're here and they have a TV, a
No one's
computer,
present
a
anymore.
laptop, a TV in her room, Nintendo Switch. It's just like, I'm bored. I have nothing to do, and I'm like, you have the most of any person that's ever lived to do right now.
Dude, you sound like
You
such a
could do
dad.
anything.
You sound like
Well,
my
I am a
stepdad used to be
dad.
like, you got a PlayStation, play it. I'm bored. You know? And now what's funny though is I got older. Now when I get bored, I'm like, let me go to the yard. Let me go play basketball.
Jerk off.
Yeah, let me go watch videos. Like there's some crazy shit online. But even back then you had to imagine
Yeah.
what it would be like. And then, but it's crazy because those days of the bikes, I mean, I get in my first job and like the freedom you talk about, riding my bike down to
My
Jan's
bike to
Corner,
work, right.
Jan's Corner Cafe, and I was like, I got it because I wanted to get a new bike. I had a dyno and I wanted a GT.
Bro, I had a dyno. Dyno was my first big upgrade.
I always wanted a
Mongoose?
no,
Oh, the Matt Harley.
Not Harley.
Or what was the name?
Haro.
Oh yeah, Haro.
You know, when you got the bike that you could spin the tire, like the whole thing around.
Yeah,
You're like, try to spin the thing while you're riding.
That's what I used to do. Like the tricks where I had the pegs and
Bounce on
had
the
a big
tire.
dyno. And I could like tip it up.
Endo.
And then you could, like, do a little lean back, and you'd spin the bar with the gyro.
Yeah, dude,
and like do little front leans and sit on the ride in
always
different
get, like-
ways. I don't know.
I always get excited when I see a guy riding by on his motorcycle, and he hits the brakes in front of me, and he taps them just in a way, and he's like, and his back tires up like that. I'm like, God damn it, I want a motorcycle.
You know, it's
so
funny.
bad.
I look at that guy and be like, please don't die. I'm very nervous for you, sir.
How long could you ride a wheelie on a bike?
Oh God, never anything impressive. Like my buddy could do it for like the whole road. He could just like lean back on his bike
You had to try, but
and just ride. And again, he was the one that was good at BMX. He was like good at his dad was like a racing person. Like they were go-karters and like indie racer. Like they were like a racing family. That was so natural to him. He rode a 4-wheeler since he was like 6, or 10. Like he was different. But like I could probably go 10 feet.
dude, I was able to
Maybe.
go like a block or so.
Right,
I got to
maybe
the
10
point where
feet
I
for
was
me.
able to like pop a wheelie and ride it sitting down for a little bit. I didn't have to necessarily stand up for the balance, but I could never do all the cool tricks. But we used to jump stuff. Like I remember like the first time I had my Huffy trying to jump the curbs. Like, oh man, look how far we got. And then you build this stupid little ramp. Like I remember building those, and the first time you ride it, the ramp just crashes or tips over.
The tires would rim out.
Yeah, like, oh,
Ding! You'd hear like the rim of the. That's
you
not
come
good.
back all scarred up and scratched. Then you got scabs, and you're like, that's cool. Let's do it again.
Did you ever get a bike for like Christmas or a birthday that made you proud, or you like were stoked to show off to the boys? Or you a memorable moment with a bicycle like as a gift?
So my memorable moment was when I got my first Huffy, and it had training wheels, and I rode it. I remember I was like so scared to learn how to ride 2 wheels, but it was at the point where like the wheels weren't like no matter what you ride, there's like only one. They were never even. So like one would go like half the time you're on 2 wheels anyway. And I remember riding my bike and trying to figure out how to go without training wheels, and I took them off. And I did it in the garage. My grandpa had carpet in the garage because he didn't want the oil drop on the old carpet remnants, right? Which, by the way, I thought that was weird when I was a kid, but now I'm like looking at my garage floor and I'm like, I sweep it. I'm like, I got to power wash it again. And then I'm like, man, wouldn't it be just nice if we had this carpet? I could just vacuum it and protect my garage floor.
I legit have I have old carpet. I need to like slice and do that for. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. But like I remember the neighbors next to me, the Rigby's, I remember they were over and I was like, they knew how to ride their bikes and I didn't. Everybody's older. I was like one of the younger ones. And I rode my bike and I made it like one lap, like one circle around inside the garage. And I was like, I did it. I can ride it. And then I went, and then the first thing I did, I couldn't stop and I freaked out and I crashed in the grass. And then I was like, from then on, I like knew how to ride it, but then I was like, oh, hey, somebody come hold my seat. Do that thing. And then eventually you could ride it. And I was like, I remember that was like super cool. And, but that was a Huffy. I just took the wheels off. And then after that, like I said, we had service merchandise. So I got a couple bikes, but I remember when I got my first, I think the dyno was first. And then I got the red GT, black and red. It was Bulls colors. Oh dude, that was sweet. GT,
I remember that too. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Matt Fry, dude next door, he had the Haro. It was, I think it was black and green.
Yeah, probably.
I was like always jealous of those guys. I was like, you had everything, man.
Bro, I mean, so my buddy had an orange Mongoose bike that was like a BMX, like lightweight. It was so dope, but it was like 3 times expensive as my dyno that I was proud of, but not the same. Anyway, so a couple things that was funny as you were saying that is like one year, I remember like trying to learn to ride my bike, and my dad took me to my parking lot of my school, and his buddy was in town, and I remember like him being super hard on me and impatient and like crying and feeling I let him down and just not even doing good. With training wheels, I was scared. Like it was with training wheels, I was like traumatized.
Well, that's par for the course. Somebody's scared of a dolphin.
Okay, man. It felt like a personal shot. Anyway, so I sucked at that, and then like I remember trying more, and I remember like realizing at some point that I still had the training wheel, so if I fell, it was okay. But if I could just like balance, like it would be fine. And so I asked my mom to take off my training wheels one day, and I remember that first run from like the neighbor's driveway to the left, and then there was another like neighbor straight, and I rode down the curb, across the street, and then like across the cul-de-sac, I guess, and then like up the curb and into the driveway, and I didn't crash. And I like rode. I could feel myself. I could feel the balance of the bicycle. Like I remember that moment where it didn't feel like I was gonna fall anymore. Like I realized how I was in control of like the bike. You know, like I was riding it. And it was just such an awesome. I remember like telling my mom, "Come here!" I ran inside and like she was cooking in the kitchen. Like came, stuck her head out. I'm like, "Watch!" And I did it. Anyway, it was such a cool moment. I filmed my daughter doing it recently, which was awesome. Like her first bike ride, I have on film and like time stamped and like recorded the first moment. So it was cool. That's not the point though. But you said you got hurt once, right? So shortly after I learned to ride the bike, I was doing that same run, but for some reason I veered left instead of going straight into the neighbor's yard. Or neighbor's driveway, and I kind of like curved left, which was their like a yard, but it went like a sharp downhill turn into kind of like a rock cliff into like a 1 foot, 2 foot deep creek full of like crawdads and like frogs and stuff like that. And I absolutely ate shit, bro. Like every single thing, I crashed into the rock. Like I went off the rock wall, like over the creek into like the rocks and everything. I just was so bloody and cut up, and my mom has like pictures of it that she always joked she would blackmail my future wife with. But yeah, like there's a real picture of that, like but that day. But I mean, it was a wild like crash, but it never scared me. Like again, like I felt like just the confidence I got from like riding that bike meant more to me, even though I had like that crazy crash. Like you said, like you just learned, and then you remember like eating shit in the grass. But you still like, it didn't deter you. Like you didn't stop. And I think that was like the interesting part of all that is like, you know, I still got on a bike and I still rode it.
It's weird. Back then, like you're almost fearless. You're like, oh dude, I crashed, but I did it. Like I could do it again. Now it'd be like, wait a minute, let me make sure I don't crash.
You best believe I was slamming on my brakes anytime I got near that grass. You know what I mean? I would be like,
dude, I remember one time my mom had some people over. And I was out riding my bike with my friends, went over to South Park, and we're going down the street. And I was like, they had these hills. Like I said, there was like this area where they did like, they would fly remote control planes out of, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like before drones were like cool. But it was like around that trail, there was a track that went around where people would ride their motorcycles or their whatever, like dirt bikes, and they'd jump this up. And I was coming down the street, and there was like a hill, like a dirt hill. And I was like, I'm going to jump it. And I didn't bother even thinking about what was on the other side. I just assumed the other side was fine. I forgot that it had rained. And I remember like hitting it, and I pulled up on the front tire to get like really big air. And as I was in air, I was like, oh shit, it's all water on the other side. And I came down, my front tire stuck in the ground. I went over to the handlebars, you know, and I went in. It's like kind of like when you learn how to ride wheelies and you think you're going, oh, I'm going to brake. And then instead of braking the back, you brake the front, and the front goes down, and you're like, boop, boop, up, end over end. It was like one of those things. I was in air, except for like when I came down, the front tire came down, and it just stuck in the mud, and I went over the handlebars into this like 2-3 feet of water. Just, I remember getting up and go, oh my God, I was just covered in mud and like all this stuff. I remember I had this really ugly like turquoise or teal shirt, and I hate that color. And I had like these shorts on. It might have been like the like Shaq shorts. You know, back then, like when Jordan would wear the shorts, and he always had like the compression shorts underneath. And they would always be longer than the shorts, and you could kind of have it. But these shorts were like the shorts, and then they had like, instead of having the compression shorts, they had like the little bit of color that came out that made it look like it, but it wasn't, right? I wasn't even matching. I don't even know how I thought I was gonna get laid at like 10, but you know, that outfit was ridiculous. But I remember just being covered in mud, and I go home, and they just looked at me like, take a shower. We don't have time to deal with your shit. It was just kind of like funny, but I was like, dude, why didn't I even look to see what was on the other side? No idea. I just thought I could jump whatever, and then you're in the air, and you're like, oh, this isn't gonna go well.
Oopsie.
And then like you're like, how, like, and you know how everything just slows down. You're like, what can I do to avoid this situation?
Dude, my buddy
probably nothing.
That
like,
remind, dude, okay.
Shit, boom, boom.
So my buddy in Jark, I think he might be listening. Shout out to Jark.
What up, Jark?
Jark Knight, baby. We call him Jark Knight.
The Jark Knight.
So my buddy Jark, we were
Slam Boy 702 listening.
We were fuck off. we were like going down this big hill. Like where we're from, there's like a ton of hills. Like it's a very hilly area. There's lakes, and there's like, you know, not like cliffs by any stretch, but it's like rocky, hilly terrain. It's not like plains, right? And you'd always be bombing down certain hills or having to climb like crazy hills. It was always a pain in the ass. But one day we were like heading from one neighborhood to the other, so it's quite a decent trek, and we were like mobbing down a hill, bro. We were like cooking. And I remember this moment that I'm like behind him 20 yards, and I'm like, oh shit, the sidewalk up ahead is straight up closed off. And whether he was just focused ahead or he was rubbernecking talking to me or he had headphones in, whatever, he had totally like not clocked that there was a like basically like a one of those like wooden like caution, you know, like roadblock type of signs, like the orange and white, like, you know, whatever roadblock signs, and in the middle of the sidewalk. And it was like way too fucking late. Well, what had happened was it was like where the hill like came down and like the ground started to like level out or start to go uphill the other direction. And the ground almost like had sunk in, like there was water underneath and the ground had like collapsed. And so like the sidewalk had obviously like collapsed in. It had gone like in a V shape. Well, whenever he fucking finally sees it, he jumps off the sidewalk, still going fast as fuck down that hill. And that ground had sunk in too. It didn't matter. Like that sidewalk was sunk in and they were putting that road sign there to like block people from like falling. So he hit his tire in like that little nook in that little divot of the ground. I mean, again, going to full 25 miles an hour or more, you know, like on a bicycle as a kid. And that bike stuck in the ground like shoot. And like he flew over his handlebars. And like I saw this grown person like flipping in the air, like, you know what I mean? Like, it felt like if someone took a teddy bear and went like to like, you know what I mean? The teddy bear,
Like, no tucking, just like flat, like
exactly, like full on sprawling, just like. And again, he maybe did one full flip, but in my mind it was like a flip and a half, and his bike like stuck in there and kind of like just fell over, and I like remember in slow motion like thinking he was gonna get up and like be dead or never get up and he was gonna die, and he just legit was like, whoa, like totally laughed it off and giggled about it. But Jark, if you're listening, I'll never forget right outside the Gambino's Pizza and the Martin's Frozen Custard, when we go down the hill right before the Walgreens where the ground gets level. I'll remember the spot for all eternity on Woods Chapel Road. So anyway, goddamn, that was a fucking moment, dude.
Dude, that was cool. I remember growing up and just being like, first of all, wasn't allowed to cross the tracks. And I had a buddy that lived like, there's like a little gravel road. I used to like riding a bike on the gravel road because you could like, it wasn't like so thick that you couldn't ride. You didn't need like those off-road, like those really wide sand tires, but like you can get going enough, and then you can like, you could drift a little bit. You could skitch out like, and then going over there, how like there's like a little side path. You go through yards. Back then, you could ride through anybody's yard and get to your buddy's house. And dude, I remember thinking like when I got to my license, I go, well, dude, when I get my driver's license, I'm still gonna ride my bike everywhere. It's so fun. And I got my driver's license. I was like, oh, this is way more fun. You go way faster, and you can drift a lot better. But no, dude, I remember those days, man. That was such a fun time being like a kid. And yeah, we had video games and stuff, but it wasn't like today. Guaranteed, if I don't have any kids, but if I was a parent, I'd be like, here's your iPad, shut up. I got things to do. But like just being bored and then trying to find stuff to do, like, oh, let's go ride my bike, knock on my friends' houses, let's go jump some stuff, let's build some ramps. Let's hurt ourselves.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. It just again, like bicycle day was like every day, and like every summer or even like after school, the bike was such a critical element of like transportation and like the symbol again of my childhood and like happiness and memory and playing outside. So.
Were you ever hit by a car?
So one time I hit the car, parked car. My buddy was doing a wheelie, and I was like full rubberneck, like, damn, look at this. And scorpion. Do you know what scorpion means?
Yes.
Like where the back of the bike hit my head. Yeah. Like it was, my feet were still in like.
Isn't that the scariest thing? It was like when you don't expect, you're like, bang, and like, but how quickly your brain reacts. Like, what is happening? So it's a split second. You're like, oh my god. All
right, so like at my old house, it was like I was on the second story, and we were like on the edge of the corner of like a cul-de-sac. So my window outside kind of saw that that T-shaped road. And there had been this bike cop going around because me and my friends were probably creating a lot of havoc. And so they started having like a bicycle cop patrol the neighborhood late at night. And so one night I'm like yelling out to my buddy Dan, shout out to my buddy Dan, Deep Howdy Saudi. And I am like out the window saying, fuck you, later, bitch, good night, like screaming at him. And so he's like leaning out of his passenger side windows down. And he's like, no, fuck you. And he's driving. And that bike cop came around the corner and like wanted to have a conversation with him. And Dan is not seeing or hearing him. And at a certain point when I'm pivoting from like, fuck you later, bitch, to like, dude, there's a like, oh my God, he hits the cop. And the cop like, and he, like the bike like goes underneath him and the cop like falls down chest onto the hood of his car and like, hey, put it in park, and like starts like yelling at him and shit like that. And anyway, so but like
kind of the cop's fault for right in front of a car.
The cop didn't like, the cop was just like, he's like, dude, I'm sorry I didn't see you. I was talking to my buddy. And he's like, you gotta keep your eyes on the road, young man. He's like, we're on the lookout. And they were on the lookout for something that like was going on. And I was like, he just left my house. Like I was like, I vouched for him out the window. Anyway, that was all. But when you actually got hit by, like, nothing was funnier to me than seeing Dan like scorpion that cop or like hit that bicycle cop. And just like the way that it was like Reno 911, where it's like, it wasn't like, no one got hurt. It was awkward, but it was almost like physical comedy, the way the cop was like, hey, put it in park, pal. It was like, oh my God. It was like, it was amazing. So,
Dude, I was hit by 2 cars.
excuse me?
I was hit by 2 cars.
Excuse me?
Different times, but 2 cars. So, well, one, I ran into the car, but it was like, I lived on a busy street. So it was one lane either way, but it's one of those busy streets like, whatever the street is outside of your house, right? It's like there's cars constantly. And I was crossing the street and I tried to time it where like I was looking one way, crossed the other way. And as I was riding up, I got way too close to the car in front. Actually, I was hit by 3 cars. And I ran into a car that was driving by and I hit the side of the car. I remember it was like some kind of brown, like something. I don't even know what the hell it was. And I was like, bang. I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And I kind of spun a little bit. I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And I realized it was our gym teacher, Miss Schmiel from elementary school. And then she didn't stop. I was like, I'm fine. Sorry, I hit your car. And it was like, I felt so bad. And I realized it was probably her fault. And then the other time, I was actually not on a bicycle. I was still young enough to drive one of those like big wheels. You know, the big wheel in the front, 2 wheels in the back, and the handle.
Of course, I fucking know what a big wheel is.
Kind of like,
Are you out of your mind?
It kind of like has like plastic wheels that get the hole, and there's always that rock in it that's go like bouncing around. And my buddy Matt in the cul-de-sac was trying, like, we were riding our like that, and he goes around the car backing out of the driveway, and this lady had no idea we were there because we were on our big wheels. And I don't even know, how old are you when you buy kindergarten, first grade, whatever?
Yeah, like 5.
And I was like, I got this. And I went around her as she was backing up, and she backed up and clocked my head with her car, and I was fine. I remember being fine. But she got out of the car freaking out, as you would as an adult, being like, I just almost ran over a kid. But I was like, it was nothing. I tried to get by. I didn't. In my mind, I'm like, I tried to get by. It's me. I didn't make it. It was all 100% on me, but I didn't realize like this woman could have been traumatized. She gets out screaming and crying, picked me up, and I looked at her. I start crying. What the hell? Takes me right across the street where my grandma lived. It was where we lived at the time. My grandma was like, what happened? My mom comes home from work, takes me to the hospital. I'm like, I'm fine. It was just the car was barely backing up and just hit my head on the bumper. She was running like one of those Oldsmobile like Century or something like that. Had like a metal bumper or whatever. And I was like, I was fine, but all that whole thing, I was like, it's way more traumatizing for the adult because everything was fine. And then the third time I got hit by a car, I was an adult living in Vegas, and I was riding my mountain bike up a hill, and for whatever reason, I was behind somebody, and I was like, oh, let me just jump into the street, and it's going up Cheyenne. And Cheyenne, you know, it was like 45, 50 mile an hour
I know
street.
Cheyenne. If you're like you're past Fort Apache, like you're going up towards the hill.
Yeah, it was like it was by the right by the Rosati's actually.
No shit. Yeah, that's right past the Fort Apache.
Right. So I jump off the sidewalk, and as I go off the sidewalk to the left, I didn't know this car was coming by. Came by, clipped my front tire, spun me around. I slammed into the side of the car. my bike bounces back against the curb, and then like I didn't fall. I just kind of like put my feet down. I was like, holy shit, that was close. And the car just actually hit the gas and took off. And I was like, whoa, that was close. And then I go to I go to start pedaling my bike. I look down, my front tire was bent.
Of course it
like
was.
it wouldn't, like it was just bent and I couldn't ride it. And I remember going like, wow, that was kind of close. And I was really calm. And the person I was with, she was like, oh my God. She's like, you almost died. I go, no, I was like, I'm fine. I'm looking at the tire, I go, oh my God, maybe that was closer to death than I thought. Like that hit me hard enough to just
hit you even
bend
6 inches back.
Yeah,
and that whole bike goes
I called
down.
my buddy. I was like, yo, dude, can you come? He's like, where you at? We had just got done playing golf and then I went for a bike ride. And he was like, he came by, picked me up. I was like, dude, can you get your truck? I was like, I got hit by a car. I have no way of getting home without undoing my tire and walking all the way back to the crib. And I was like, he came by, I threw my bike in there. I had to go down and get a new tire. But I was like, dude, it was so close to death. Like, that was the closest I've ever been. I was like, I can't believe that the thing hit my tire so hard that it bent it and threw me up against it. And because I hit the side of the car, like, it bounced me back straight up. Like, it's the only reason why I didn't fall. And I was like, my goodness, that was a really close call. But again, I thought, yeah, anybody driving by, first of all, they were going way too fast and they took off. So they must have been drinking. I didn't realize there was no shoulder when I was just like, I just hopped onto the street to go around them. I just assumed like there was a bike lane, but there wasn't. That was kind of wild.
Dude, that story is insane, bro. You were inches from death. I mean, you were way closer. And okay, so you were going uphill, like in the right lane.
Yeah, and I couldn't slow down.
Against that curb by that Rosati's, and they clipped you right there.
Right as I jumped
That's
off the
right
curb.
by a police station, too.
It is right by the police station. And when it hit me, I mean, it was bad enough because I remember hitting the rear view mirror came in and broke, and they just hit the gas and took off. And I was like, wow, I can't believe they left. But my first reaction was like, dude, I'm glad they left because I don't want to have to pay for the damage on the car because I jumped into the street. And then I realized, this drunk motherfucker, Sunday afternoon or whatever it was, Saturday afternoon.
Wow. Okay. Wow. Oh my God. Okay. All right. Well, that is like that is the winner tonight. That is like the story of all stories, dude. I'm glad you're okay. So,
yeah.
Jesus.
But again, like I was too cool to have a helmet on, so thank God I didn't hit the ground.
Yeah.
Then after that, we're like, we should get helmets just in case.
Yeah. I think so. I think that's the PSA for everybody. Definitely wear a helmet if you're gonna bike. Also, biking's expensive. Like really mountain biking and really like street biking.
we used to work
Way
with the
too
guy. You
expensive.
worked with him twice.
Yeah.
That was really big into biking, and it's expensive.
Almost ruined it for me. Like if I ever wanted to get into it, it's like I never will. Like as an adult, I could never do it. It's not because I think it's dumb or lame or they're annoying. It's just
there's too many distracted drivers these days,
and it's also you're so involved now. And not even street or just mountain. It just like it seems like it's quite.
You got to
expensive
commit.
and
It's a commitment.
It's like a lifestyle to do it. I'm not interested in adding that new.
I would rather get a motorcycle. I always want a motorcycle, but it makes me nervous because I like to go really fast. And I thought like joining the 200-mile-an-hour club would be really fun, but like I'm not totally sure that I should get one because I do like speed too much to get a motorcycle.
Dude, too many guys. There's just too many motorcycle deaths per like day. It's just people don't see
What do you
you.
think about?
It's not about the motorcyclists. It's about like the drivers that don't see them or respect them. That's what the problem.
What do you think? What do you think about those things that look like snowmobiles? They got the 2 tires in the front, 1 in the back, and then I think those Can-Am Spiders is what they're called. Like that feels a little bit safer because I've ridden a few motorcycles and I always feel very vulnerable at intersections. It's kind of scary. So like if I had one, I would not. Like I was told by somebody one time, if you get a motorcycle, it's not a commuter. You're not meant to use it. It's like a Sunday afternoon. Like you got to be on your P's and Q's. Like you got to be really paying attention because there's too many distracted drivers. You got to do it when it's not meant for commuting. It's meant, you can't be driving it in rush hour because nobody's paying attention. Nobody's seeing. But then I thought, maybe I'll get one of those Can-Am things because that's kind of fun. At least you got a little protection. But I don't know.
Nah, I mean, you'll figure it out, but I would probably just say if you do it safe, wear the right equipment and protect yourself and drive safe and don't be a moron. And you should be in better shape than most people out here. So All right, man. Anything else you want to add about Bicycle Day before we wrap this motherfucker
No,
up,
man.
dude?
I should finish this beer.
Finish
And
that
that's-
fucking beer then, my friend. And what?
That's it. Let's
All right.
roll.
I love it. So, all right, if you guys do want to reach out to us, I will read your fucking email on the show. bottledandcannedpod@gmail.com is our email. That's all spelled out. bottledandcannedpod@gmail.com. Also on the socials that matter. Our TikTok, our Twitch, our Instagram are all at Bottled and Canned Pod, spelled out just the same way. So, yeah, hit us up. Give us a follow. Watch some of the clips and or replays of other episodes on YouTube or Twitch.
Yeah.
Good night, who?
Good night, Sweden.